A court agrees with a ban on medical marijuana advertising in Mississippi, you guys. That's right. Medical marijuana businesses in Mississippi don't have the right to advertise on billboards or other places because marijuana itself remains illegal under federal law, an appeals court says, you guys. That's right. The owner of the medical marijuana dispensary argued that the First Amendment protects the right to advertise because Mississippi law permits the sale of cannabis products to people with debilitating medical conditions. The state enacted its laws back in 2022, and a 3-judge panel of the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals on Friday rejected the arguments about advertising. They cited the Federal Controlled Substances Act, which since 1970 has prohibited the manufacture, distribution, dispensing, and possession of marijuana. And the federal law applies in all states, and Mississippi, in quotes, faces no constitutional obstacle to restricting commercial speech related to unlawful transactions, the judge wrote. The Mississippi Attorney General's office praised the court's decision for upholding Mississippi's reasonable restrictions on advertising for medical marijuana dispensaries by print, broadcast, and other mass communications, said the office spokesperson Mary Asa Lee. Interesting how they spelled that, too. Mary Asa is all one word. Clarence Crofit II operates True Source Medical Cannabis in the northern Mississippi city of Olive Branch, and he sued the state back in 2023 to challenge its ban on medical marijuana advertising on billboards or in print, broadcast, or social media, or via mass email or text messaging. In a quote, upholding this ban makes it incredibly difficult for me to find potential customers and to educate people about Mississippi's medical marijuana program, Crofit said in a statement on Monday, and also says, I remain committed to continuing this fight so my business can be treated the same as any other legal business in Mississippi. Well, I commend you for that, sir. And the state allows medical marijuana businesses to have websites or social media accounts that provide information about their retail dispensing locations and a list of products available. It also allows them to be listed in phone books or business directories and to display cannabis in company logos. The business can also sponsor non-for-profit charity or advocacy events, and Crockfit is represented by the Institute for Justice, a nonprofit libertarian law firm. The firm said on Monday that it is considering its next steps in the lawsuit, including possibly asking the entire appeals court to reconsider the case or an appeal to the Supreme Court. Mississippi cannot, on one hand, create an entire marketplace for the sale of medical marijuana, and on the other hand, rely on a unenforced federal law to prohibit buyers and sellers from talking about it, said Ari Bargel, a Institute for Justice attorney. Well. Interesting turn of events for what's happening in Mississippi, you guys. I imagine they'll probably will take this to the appeals court, appeal this decision, and then after that, take it to the Supreme Court, because I'm not sure that they'll actually win their appeal, because they'll probably get stuck with the same judges and whatnot. But I encourage this guy to maybe possibly consider advertising on X in the meantime, since they are allowing for cannabis advertisements, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this.
What about advertising on High at 9 News, bro?
He 100% could advertise on High at 9 News without a doubt.
Shout out to Alexis Alianello at X. You know, X is doing a lot of great stuff for cannabis businesses. Yes. I mean, you know, we're gonna have to take it where we can get it at this point. But Mississippi is interesting. Jason, it's been how many years since we've been in Mississippi? Jason,
it's been about a year and a half, 2 years. It was right when they first started back in 2022.
Had some delicious, gas station fish sandwiches.
Oh my God, that was so good. The catfish. Oh my God, from the gas station.
It's been a week there.
Oh, it was so good.
Horrible.
I don't know. Like I think obviously we're handcuffed, we're hamstringed as an industry in general, but as a new state that's starting a program to try to limit so severely and harshly, it's definitely a cause for people to take up their right as business owners and to take it all the way down and try to reverse that decision. And we'll see what happens, but it's a very complicated situation down in the South in general. So,
what about the kids? What if the kids see a billboard? Then what happens?
Well, I mean, they should have thought about that in Colorado. Colorado already set the precedence for that in the beginning of legalization. They had tons of cannabis billboards all over the place.
What about the kids in Colorado? What happened to them? Look at them.
This RTD.
They were crisis actors. They were crisis actors, Todd. Come on, man.
That's a good point.
The clever thing that cannabis businesses in Colorado did in the beginning were adopt the highways, to clean them up so they can put their signs up on the freeways, and that was actually a pretty genius move. So maybe they can, the business owners in Mississippi can kind of try to do some different tactics there, get some different eyeballs on their brands and on their products. But look, there's no doubt that this has just been a lingering issue. That's why we need reform. That's why we need one singular system, and we need to push forward. It's like, as a society, we just need it to just get out of the way. And we're just being used as a pawn in politics, and it's obvious now. They're just gonna whip us around however they feel. We have to kind of take control of that. This is a increasingly large industry, $20 billion in the next 2 years potential. So look, we got to get our shit together.
Do you know how great, I should say, the Mississippi economy is? They're the absolute worst in the U.S. Well, and this little bit of money that they could have got from these advertisements, they're going to throw that out too. They don't want money in Mississippi.
Thanks, Brett Favre.
I do agree. I do agree, though.
Their entire the state GDP all went to Brett Favre and his bullshit.
I do agree with how they are arguing this case as far as a First Amendment issue. I think that is the right argument.
It's the right argument because the First Amendment is a federal issue, and so they're trying to win in a federal court so that they are offsetting the argument that because it's federally illegal, it's not covered. I think they're going to lose.
I think they will too.
The federal court, and I don't think even the Supreme Court with this group of justices is going to try to contort themselves to figure out a world in which the federal illegality is not one of the most important criteria and whatever those decisions might end up being. I do think that the cost of this case and the continued litigation of it should be looked at as an advertising expense because it's a noble cause to some degree. And I think that the plaintiffs in this case are going to continue to get great exposure just by continuing to push this ball forward into the next court and the next court and appealing it and whatnot. And so they get it's advertising, it's PR. You can't advertise, but you're actually advertising because you have this lawsuit. But I don't think the federal government, I don't think that our conservative Supreme Court is going to try to find some little narrow loophole to be able to be like, oh yeah, that's First Amendment. Because you can't, there's other things that are federally illegal that you can't put under protected free speech as well. And so free speech is often thrown about in a way that is far broader than what it was actually intended. And we always use the example from school of you can't yell fire in a crowded theater and say that that's free speech. And so it's still federally illegal, and that's going to continue to. Well,
I mean, you can just get arrested for it. That's the difference, Yarrow.
Yeah, it's not so fun.
Just saying.
They don't do anything.
Yeah, they don't like money there.
Such a hater. Such a hater.
They don't like money, and they always vote against their own best interest. Weird.
I mean, that's just the American. That's just the American way.
I don't think so. I think that's a cultural thing, and it's like a deeply rooted thing. And I feel like there is a problem with the way this administration has shaped up, and it doesn't look like they're pro cannabis. So it's like whatever we want to say about this administration, look good or bad, I don't think they're pro cannabis. I think cannabis is still going to be used as the chit, and we're going to be moved around as they feel we should be, and they're going to position cannabis in a way to sell their story and to get more voters to buy in. But it's like, I don't see it changing. The changes that are going to come from within, always.
Change does come from within, Saman. You're so right about that.
Once they convince the moonshine, the guys who make all the moonshine, get into the cannabis business, then things will change.
Be the change from within.
Wait, is that the cornbread mafia?
Yeah.
Be the change from within.
Corn boiling mafia.
There you go.
We're gonna
the other thing that's a flimsy argument is the freedom of speech is not extended to all commercial communication. And so advertising, already it fails on the surface because advertising is not the expression of personal beliefs. It is not the exercising of one's opinion in democracy. It is intended to create sales. And so the notion that that advertising would fall under the First Amendment, like, it's a stretch. It's a yoga stretch at best.
I don't know.
I love stretches.
Man. Like, everything is for sale. Everything is for sale in this nation. So,
I mean, if you can advertise pharmaceuticals, should be.
I agree with that, Todd. I totally agree with you on that. Exactly right. You know what I mean? Like if you just listen to all of the side effects and like
disclaimers.
Yeah, exactly.
They cause anal bleeding.
Yeah. Man, that's rough.
That kind of shit in Mississippi, man. They like they booty holes bloody.
Check out HelloAgainProducts.com for all natural.
Anything that's red, they like.
Oh man, you guys, jeez.
It's not his brown note. Thank you all for joining us for yet another episode of High 9 News. You can catch us live weekdays, 9 a.m. Pacific, high noon on the East Coast. Big shout out to the super fans getting their comments posted live on the big screen. Today we had a C word in the motherfucking building.
Yes, thank you, C word.
Getting their comments posted live on the big screen and announced by the team. Make sure you guys check out that the Dabioki, man. Do you have the date on that again, Jason?
It looks like it's December 8th.
I think it was in San Francisco.
December 8th. That would be 12/8, Rico. 12/8.
It's San Francisco Karaoke Bar, Dabioki, December 8th after Nani Seed Market. Whoever's down.
Time.
Like, I hope whoever attends that, I hope there's some videotape. I hope there's some highlight film. I hope some people are hitting the high notes in the Celine Dion and Mariah Carey solos. Like, I just think that's...
Is Celine still alive? I thought didn't she, like, ain't she on, like, Death's front door or some shit like that?
Well.
All the more reason why Celine needs to see that footage as well. But I think that seems like it's going to be a lot of fun.
You know what the ultimate karaoke song is that I always ask people to play to always test their musical skills?
What's that, Jason?
Yellow Rose of Texas by Bette Midler?
No, Roxanne.
You don't have to
put on the red light.